Hey everyone, Joy here. Joy in my new, very strange top. What day is it? It's Wednesday and it's like December 6th, 2016. And Burnsides does not have braces on anymore, can you believe it? I wanted to take a picture, but he's too busy and he had to leave and he had to go to work, so I can't take a picture yet. But anyways, braces are gone, he looks great. So anyway, I have the story of all stories about bad service. This one is so bad, I can't even repeat most of it to you. I'm telling you. But let me tell you about my jacket first. I showed you the pattern the other day. Hold on one second, let me grab it. This is it. Kwik Sew. And you can see that what I'm wearing looks just like the pattern. Although I probably need to stand up on a stool or something. But I don't know if I love it or I hate it. The thing about this style is, in my mind, because I'm one of these perfectionists and everything has to be the same and everything has to be equal, it's really, really hard to get this floaty part to float in the first place, and then it's practically impossible to get both sides to look the same as each other. Watch, when I put it on, you'll see. It's one of those things you have to fiddle with, you know? Okay, so you're getting ready to go out and you go, ah! Let me grab my jacket. So you get your new jacket, which has pockets in it, and you put it on. One arm, two arms. Okay. Now, the first thing is both my sleeves just pulled up on the inside. So I got to pull those down. The second thing is the collar has to be arranged. And your clothes have to be pulled down. Because this fleece kind of grabs my shirt and rearranges it. And you can see that this just hangs ugly. See, it just hangs ugly. So you have to like pull it and let it fall into its folds. You know, can you see yourself in a restaurant? It's like, I'm putting my jacket on. I'm sorry, it's taking me an hour. Let me see. See, that looks terrible. See? Oh, I wish you guys could see. This side has several folds. This side only has a couple. Let me see if I can get them both the same, if I even try. I don't know. Maybe that's a little better. I don't think that's even right. That's got 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2. I still don't think they're the same. See? And the next thing is, what if you want to close it? There's no button. There's no snap. You know, you can just hold it like this and it feels good. It's fleece. It feels like a blanket. But then when you want it to be pretty and hang right, you can't get it to do it unless you fiddle with it. So I don't know. Maybe I'll give it to Terry. She's not picky like I am. Hold on, I'll be back. I gotta check that phone. Whew. Okay. Are you ready for the nightmare service story of the century? You won't believe it. This first company that came out here for my flood in the hall and the toilets backing up and the mess I had yesterday, I guess y'all don't know about it, do you? Oh yeah. Stepped out of my sewing room. Yes, I told you. I think I told you. I was going to go heat up my coffee and I stepped in this big splashy puddle. Yeah. So anyway, found this first plumber. How I ever found him, I don't know. I just Googled Plumbers Edmund. He was the top of the list. Said he was wonderful, fabulous. I thought, fine, I'll just call him. His name was Tipton. T-I-P-T-O-N. Tipton. A little while later, these two big guys showed up. They had a big truck, left it outside in front of the house, and left it running the whole time they were in here, probably for a fast escape. Two big guys came in. And one of my girlfriends said, oh no, plumbers, but, and I said, no, they actually have jackets on and they're covered up and they look decent. Well, it didn't stay that way, let me tell you. Oh yeah, it was the worst one I've ever seen. Like halfway down. I'm like, oh my heavens. Anyway, I told the man, he said, where's your drain cleaner pipe in your backyard? Some kind of sewer thing they leave sticking up in your yard and it's got a cap on it. I said, I don't know if it's in the backyard. I said, I think I've seen it in the front yard. And he said, they don't ever put them in the front yard. They always put them in the backyard. So he went out there with this T-shaped metal rod. And he walked around the backyard with his assistant, who was a great big tall guy who didn't speak, never said anything, just followed him around. And if he said, go get me something, the guy went and got him something. So he walked around the backyard and kept poking this stick in the grass. I thought, well, that's ridiculous. You know, if it was there, it would be sticking up. You can't just poke the stick all over the backyard. That's going to take all day. So finally he came in and said, well, we're going to have to do it a different way. So then he brings in this thing from his truck. And he brings in this paper and he said, here, you need to sign this. He said, this is a camera. And it's going to cost $350 for me to put this camera down your sink. I said, what? Why would it be $350? You don't even know what's wrong. You haven't even done anything yet. Well, this thing costs $11,000 and you're going to have to pay me $350 to put this camera down your sink. Another thing I told him, I showed him where the water came out of the water heater closet. I said, this is where the water came out. And I said, there's a drain right here where the pipe goes and the water goes in if the water heater overflows. I said, is there any way you could just put the snake thing down? No, we can't do that. You can't put that snake down there. Okay. Remember those two things. So then he goes out to his truck and he brings in this sewage equipment that's been in people's sewers, mind you. He has no shoe covers on. He has no kind of covers whatsoever for my carpet or my floors. He brings in this great big thing. He goes over to my sink, and I'm trying to look for something to demonstrate. He picks up my dish towel, my clean dish towel. He says, I'm going to use this to put this on. He picks up his great big sewage thing and sticks it on top of my sink on top of my towel. I kid you not. Then he puts the rest of his machine on the floor. And then he sticks this camera thing. He takes my plumbing apart under the sink. He sticks this camera thing that looks like the snake with the light on the front of it and sticks it down there. And then he's got the thing he stuck up on my sink is like a computer monitor and he's looking at it. And all it is water and sewage. So he did that for about 20 minutes. Nothing worked. Nothing accomplished. Found out absolutely zero. Other than there was a clog. Oh. So anyway, he finished doing that, decided that didn't work. So then he decided to go outside and poke around the backyard some more with his tool. And I told him again. I said, I used to have two big dogs. And I said they used to dig in the front yard all the time. And I know I saw that pipe thing out there in the front yard. No, couldn't be in the front yard. It's always in the backyard. So I went out in the backyard again with their stick and started poking it in the ground again. Then he came back in. I had towels on the carpet in my hallway here because it was soaking wet from the flood coming out of the water heater. So, and I told him, I said, I hope you have something to protect my rugs because my floor is wet and if you get your muddy boots on the water, it's going to make a mess. He comes in from outside in the backyard, walks on the wet towel, comes in here where I'm standing, his feet are this big, and he makes two big muddy footprints. I have a picture of them. Then he turns around and walks back out. I go get him and I say, excuse me, you just left two big muddy footprints in my carpet. He said, oh, I saw that, that's terrible. I said, don't you have something to cover your shoes with or cover my carpet with? Getting very upset with this man. He said, oh, we always cover everybody's carpet with plastic. We cover all of it with plastic. He said, I'll go out to my truck and get it. So he gets his sidekick, who still hasn't spoken. Great big tall guy. Fine looking, nice guy, older man. Nothing wrong with him, he just never said anything. He followed him out to the truck. Also, this big guy, #1 plumber guy, he walks real slow like this. He looks sick. He walks slow. I'm like, what on earth is wrong with this man? He looks like he's about to drop over. So he goes out by his truck. I'm watching him out the window. He opens up the back of the truck. gets up in the back of the truck, gets out of the back of the truck, comes out with two big cardboard things that were on water heaters, that water heaters come in. Two big tall, gives it to the big guy. The big guy folds it up, brings it to my front door. I say, what is that for? He said, well, we're going to put this on your carpet. And I said, no, you're not. Those are dirty. I said, you're supposed to put plastic. So here comes guy number one, the real slow guy. I said, what happened to the plastic? Well, we don't have any. We'll have to go get some. I said, never mind. I have lots of towels. So I got out every towel in my house, covered my white carpet on it for them to walk on. Unbelievable. It went from bad to worse, from bad to worse, from bad to worse. Finally, he decided he would go in our shower, in the master bedroom shower, walk across the white carpet. Go to the master bedroom shower, removed the drain thing out of the bottom of the shower, brought in another filthy plumbing piece of equipment, great big thing with the snake thing in it, and he stuck it down the shower. Then he told me and my husband that we should both go outside in the backyard and we should listen for the snake because he was going to rattle it and maybe we could hear it in the back. So my husband and I, being dingbats, not knowing this is an idiot plumber, we go out in the backyard and we're walking around. Do you hear it, honey? No. Do you hear it? No. Maybe if we get closer to the ground. Do you hear it? No. Do you hear it? No. I'm not kidding you guys. I'm not kidding you. We come back in my bedroom. We go in there. We couldn't hear it in the backyard. Anyway, the guy finally quits doing what he's doing. He gets the water to mostly drain, but the bathtub is still as clogged up as it ever was. But the toilet's flush and the water's quit coming out of the water heater, so his snake thing evidently made a hole and the stuff was draining. But that wasn't to fix. He said, that's not going to fix it. He said, that's just a skinny little hole. And he said, it's just going to plug up again. So he says, I'm coming back tomorrow with a tractor, mind you, and we're going to dig up your backyard. I said, what are you going to dig up my backyard for? Well, we got to find that drain. We got to get that drain out of there and figure out where it is because we can't find it with the camera. Oh, he told me he was going to take my toilet off the floor in our master bathroom and he was going to go down the toilet with his camera to see if he could find where the thing was in the backyard, and then he was going to dig that up with his tractor. So, he takes his things outside. My husband and I are both here. We're standing. He comes up to me and he says, now I promise you, I will call you this afternoon and I'll let you know exactly when I'm going to be back. And he goes out and he comes back and he says, now I just want to remind you, I'm going to call you this afternoon 3 times. Once he told my husband and twice he told me. And he said, I promise you, I'm going to call you this afternoon. No call ever came. No call in the afternoon, no call in the evening, no call in the morning. So this morning, first thing I called him to tell him he was a liar and I did not want him to come back to my house. So anyway, I decided, I was going to talk to his boss. I was going to talk to the owner of the company. So I call and I say, yes, I'd like to speak to the owner. And the guy said, this is the owner. I said, what's your name? And he said, Zachary. Well, Zachary's the guy that was here. And I said, you're the owner of the company? Yes, ma'am. I said, well, this is Joy Bernhardt. And I said, you lied to me and my husband. You said you would call us. You never called us. He said, well, you're a blankety blank blank and nobody can please you. And I said, you are fired. And I hung up on him. Oh my gosh. He started texting me. You are a smelly blank. And I cannot believe that you have fired me after all the work I did for you. You are this and you are that. And he started talking about Trump and how I thought we were going to make America great again and blankety blanks like me. And oh, it's just, he made Donald Trump look like a Sunday school teacher. I have the text. You guys would not believe it. Oh, I was so glad I fired him. So anyway, I got on Home Advisor or somewhere. I was calling every plumber I could find. Half of them said, well, you don't do that. Well, you don't do that. I finally found one that said they could take care of the problem. And which, of course, I told them they had to dig up the backyard, right? I said, you're going to have to dig up my backyard. Nobody can find the thing. So finally I got this really nice one. And this guy showed up at noon. His name was Ed. Really nice guy. He was 60-something years old. Told us he was. I kid you not. This is God's truth. The man wasn't here 2 minutes and he found the clean out drain. You know why? Because he listened to me. I told that first man that I thought it was in the front yard, remember? I told this man. First thing he did was he noticed the sewer thing, you know, the big hole in the road with the lid on it. He noticed it's in our front yard. And so he came up to the door and he said, this sewer thing's in your front yard. He said, I'm wondering if that, isn't in your front yard. I said, I think it's in the bushes. I said, my dogs used to dig in there all the time and I think it's in the bushes. I told that guy yesterday that. And he told me that was impossible. It had to be in the backyard. He went over there, he opened up the bushes. There it was, right where I said it was. Unbelievable. He was here for less than an hour. All he did was open that thing up and do something to it. Then he came in to the bathtub, which I told the first plumber hasn't worked in 9 years. When he left yesterday, it still didn't work. It didn't drain. Guess what this plumber did? He removed the little thing. Well, he couldn't get it all the way out, but he got a screw out of it and he got it to lift up. And he stuck this long thing down. 2 rubber wheels from a little kid's toy were in there. A fake plastic nickel from some child's game was in there. And some kind of a mushroom-shaped lid was down in there. And some kind of a piece of plastic, like an umbrella top type thing, were all in that drain. That's why it wouldn't drain. It had nothing to do with the sewer. He kept pulling these things out and giving them to me. He was here probably 45 minutes. No tractor, no digging up the backyard, no camera, no snake, no nothing. I wanted to hug him and invite him to my house for Christmas because, you know, nobody else wants to come. So, oh my heavens, I know I don't have any listeners here in the Oklahoma area, but if you live in Edmond or Oklahoma City, don't ever use that company, Tipton. I'm fixing to leave a review. Jerry found him on Angie's List this morning. That's not where I found him. I just Googled plumbers in Edmond, and he has all kinds of bad reviews. One lady said she threw him out of her house. So, oh my, what a day. But it's all fixed. The first guy left a mess everywhere he went. Oh, he left a mess in the shower, left a mess in the bathroom, left a mess in the kitchen, everywhere he went. And so I spent all yesterday afternoon with the carpet cleaner, sucking up water and cleaning up all the places this guy had been. But anyway, the guy left today. He cleaned the tub. He cleaned the tub, do you hear me? He was so cute. He was so cute. He took his shoes off at the front door. And then I saw him go outside in his socks. And I said, oh my gosh, it's so cold. It's 35 degrees out there. I said, it's so cold you can't go out there in your socks. He said, oh, those shoes are so much trouble to put back on. I'll just go out there in my socks. So I said, why don't you wear my Crocs? And so I took off my bright green Crocs. Hold on, I'm going to show them to you. They were out by the door. We left them. He put my Crocs on. And he wore them outside, and then he just kicked them off when he came in the house. He was the cutest thing. So anyway, moral of the story, find out more stuff about a plumber before you hire one. I had no idea the guy'd be on Angie's List. How did he get, why would he even want to be on it? Good grief. Anyhow, the new one's called Dalton. The very nice plumber's called Dalton, and they're on Home Advisor. So I'm going to give him a really good review. And the other guy, I'm almost afraid of him. After the filthy things he said about me. I'm almost afraid of him, you know, because he knows where I live. And so I don't know if I should really say, I don't know. I'll have to pray about that. But anyway, so red coat, plumbing problem fixed. Jerry's braces are off. Yes, they are. Got his braces off today. I just kissed his face half off. But he's too busy and he had to go to work. I don't have time for this, Joy. I've got to go to work. So anyway, I've got to go finish putting some stuff up and cleaning up and getting ready to go home on Saturday. But anyway, just wanted to check in and tell you what I'm up to. So I'll be back soon.